Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AniYayAniNay. As always, I'm your host, John.
And I'm Joey.
All right, let's get started on another great podcast.
Another great one.
As usual, welcome back to AniYayAniNay, guys. Just want to give a big shout out, of course. We have just passed 3K. We're currently working on 3,100. I think right now we're at 3,065 subs. Though we owe all that to you guys, of course.
Of course, we owe all that to you guys, and we want to greatly appreciate you guys. And just to say, we're at 3.07K, to be exact.
Oh, so we must have got a couple more in the coming days. But, I mean, the main point is we're just grateful to all of you guys for, coming to listen to our content. We're just grateful for all that, basically. So, I mean, our next goal, at least my goal, is to reach 4,000, of course. But you guys know our main goal is to try and reach 5,000 by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But let's go ahead and get started on this review here. Of course, today we are reviewing Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Before we actually get into the review itself on the show, let's actually give you guys a little background on Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's technically based off the video game Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, funny thing is, you can actually consider this a prequel, Joe. The interesting is because the date of death on Cyberpunk for David Martinez and a bunch of other people who did die,
Mm-hmm.
it's 2076, and the game is called Cyberpunk 2077. So, I mean, you can technically
You could.
consider it a prequel. But, I mean, basically, Cyberpunk is a video game that was released back in 2020, I believe. Yeah, 2020. And re-released in 2022, of course, when the PS5 and Xbox Series XS came out. So, I mean, you got your original, then you got your new one. But the original release of Cyberpunk was kind of a letdown for the big promotions it got. You basically take the place of a first-person character who is a customizable mercenary, and they have skills like hacking, machinery, and options with like melee and ranged weapons, which is basically what you see in Cyberpunk Edgerunners. A lot of these people are androids. Well, I think everybody's an android actually, but technically there are more people who are more machine than human.
Mm-hmm. I want to say everybody's an android. Everybody has a phone in their hand and stuff like that. So they could be humans and still have an implant of a phone like other shows, movies, but
I think technically they're like all androids in a way. They all have chips, but because everybody, even if they're not human or not, they have that side where a card goes in. Though people become more machine, of course. Like, David, of course, he became more machine as the show went on. But, of course, you notice that when people become more machine, they start going through what's called cyberpsychosis, which is the main goal of this, which is actually what happens in the show, of course. In Cyberpunk, there's actually a thing called cyberpsychosis, and it's kind of like a disease for these people from adding all these mechanics onto their body.
And using them constantly.
Yes, so... I mean, everything has a limit. Even a human body has its limit. There's no telling. Of course, a machine's going to have its limit, too.
Mm-hmm.
You can only push it so far. Basically, the story in the game, it follows many different paths. So I guess you can say there is a path called the Street Kid in the Cyberpunk game, and I guess you can consider that's the path that David Martinez follows in the Edgerunners show. But, I mean, this is my take from it, but I mean, this is just basically giving you a background of the game and basically what you will be expecting in the show. But basically, in the show, Cyberpunk is about, of course, like we said before, it's about David Martinez. He's this normal guy who goes to school, and then basically in the mix, he meets a girl named Lucy, who's what's known as an edgerunner. She fights against the people who are up top, and these rich guys who are make things unfair for people like David. And what happens is during his time as an edge runner, he basically gets this device called they call the Sandy for short. Basically, it's military tech that goes all the way down his spine,
Mm-hmm.
and it caused somebody originally to have cyberpsychosis. And originally, it puts a drain on him in the beginning because he's not used to what it can do. Basically, what it does is basically it makes him move faster. But whenever you see him use it, it basically looks like time stops in a way. But technically, what you would be seeing in the real world is he would be moving fast.
Mm-hmm. Too fast for you to be able to see him.
Yep. But technically, when you do it, it's kind of like he stops time for a second in his eyes. And he's just moving normally, but, he's actually moving very fast. So technically, time doesn't stop. But over time, he actually gets used to it and actually becomes a really good edge runner, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then during a mission, when one of the lead edge runner goes through cyberpsychosis himself, his name was Maine. He ends up dying in the process, and then David becomes the new leader. And when David becomes the new leader, he completely changes. He loses all human parts and starts going full machine, basically.
Yeah.
He buffs up really big. He looks completely different. He starts off as a skinny kid first, but then buffs up. I can understand that because we got character development, of course, and that's kind of like the character we were expecting him to become. But it just seems like the look he has, it just doesn't sit well with me. I think it was probably the way that maybe it could be the way they just animated him. But I mean, it looked kind of like his head was too small for his body in a way.
I can see that.
And once Maine dies, David becomes the new leader of the Edgerunners, and he has a bunch of people still on his side from the original Edgerunners. And during a time when Lucy, the girl he met in the beginning, gets kidnapped, he ends up going to save her and ends up dying in the process from cyberpsychosis.
Yeah.
He gets killed by, I think it was Atom Smasher. I think that was the name. He was a cyber psycho too, but he was 3 times stronger than what David was.
I want to say it was Atom Smasher.
I think that was his name. I don't remember exactly his name, but then again, I don't want to go full into detail about anything for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, because Cyberpunk Edgerunners has been probably one of the hottest shows on Netflix, ahead of even the new Dahmer show.
And it's actually not bad. It's actually really good.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is actually really good, and it's kind of bringing back life to Cyberpunk. Like I said before, the Cyberpunk game was kind of like a big letdown, in my opinion. I don't know what Joey's opinion was. I don't even know if he ever played it.
Never played it.
You're not really into RPGs like I am, though. You're more into the Battle Royale stuff like COD.
Well, I like some RPGs. Okay? It all depends on the play style. I just hadn't even tried Cyberpunk. I just never had the chance to, really.
Maybe it would be a thing. It's probably a lot cheaper now. But, I mean, whenever I see you play games, it's usually Battle Royale or stuff like that, like COD. Or
yeah, I mean, I play a lot of shooting games, mainly Call of Duty and Apex, mainly. Apex Legends. But I got my fair share of RPG games that I do play. It just depends on the gameplay and the style, and I like to personally be able to create my own character and stuff like that in those type of games, just how it is.
Well, I mean, probably if I had to guess, I would say anything kind of like Final Fantasy you probably wouldn't play. You probably wouldn't find interest in that.
Not Final Fantasy, no. I got bored with that one.
Probably because it got too easy. That's the reason why I said you probably aren't into RPGs, because anything involving the story is probably too easy for you. I mean, in RPGs, basically once you become...
I play online RPGs. So if it's online where the story is continuous and, like WoW, I can play WoW.
I got bored with WoW, and League is also toxic in my opinion. Because once you start playing it, even you want to stop, you just can't stop playing it.
But WoW I can play. It really all depends on the style. DC Universe Online I can play. Star Trek Online I cannot play.
Those are Star Trek is sci-fi. You're not the biggest sci-fi guy, and WoW and the other ones you mentioned are MMORPGs,
Yeah, but that's what I'm
massive
saying.
ones.
Multiplayer online. That's the RPGs that I play. I don't play solo RPGs. I get bored. It's I will defeat any solo RPG in less than a day.
Hey, you will play Assassin's Creed, and that is an
Yes,
RPG.
I will play Assassin's Creed. Yes, but I get bored over it, and that's why I never I've already defeated every Assassin's Creed just about. I think I got the last two that I gotta do, but I've defeated all of them within less than 24 hours, and it was nothing for me. So for me, I gotta find an online game because all the storylines they're done for me. I get them done quick and easy. It's nothing
That's because the original Assassin's Creed ended a long time ago with Assassin's Creed 4.
Mm-hmm.
The original guy that they were drawing all the memories out.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ones, first 1, 2, 3, and 4, all had actual memories. Now everything's like a spin-off. I never played Rogue. It was stupid to think that they actually put an assassin with the Templars. They're supposed to be enemies. That's stupid in my opinion.
It is, but it is kind of stupid. Personally, I can say that. I like the thought of the assassins being able to be cool with the Templars, for a time being at least, like a white flag. Somebody threw up a white flag or whatever. They became friends for a little bit, and then somebody else took power and took over. I like that. Basically, I mean that might not be the whole gist of it, but because I ain't played in so long, but.
In Unity, it's not going to be your thing because it's kind of like a lovey-dovey thing because it's when an assassin falls in love with someone who is a Templar.
I've already played Unity, and the lovey-dovey part of it I do not like, but the backstory of it I kind of do like, other than the lovey-dovey parts of it.
Well, I mean, aside from all that, I mean, yes, the Unity and the Rogue one wasn't all that great. But Valhalla and Odyssey, those were really good. But still, my personal favorite, in my opinion, is Black Flag. It's always going to be Black Flag, in my opinion, unless they make samurai ones. They did Chinese, but I didn't like that one. It was 2D dimensional. It was like an online version. It was stupid. I mean, in my opinion, it's probably Odyssey. I liked Odyssey because that was Spartans. I really want them to do samurais, but it's we've been waiting for that for years, and it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, back on the story, let's give you guys some of the highlights about the characters that we liked, basically from Cyberpunk, because that's the story we're trying to here to talk about, not talk about our favorite RPGs. Though, if anybody wants us to do an episode about our favorite video games, please drop us a comment below, and we'll definitely add that as a topic, as a special. Though I think Joey would probably do more of the talking on that one than me. He's more of the gamer than me.
I game all the time, every day. At least an hour and a half.
Let's talk about our favorite characters. Now, male characters, I think me and Joe are going to agree who our favorite male characters was. It was David, of course.
David was my favorite male character, yes, but not my favorite character in all.
Well, who's your favorite character overall?
I can't even think of her name really, but it's the girl that was always around David.
You're talking about his girlfriend?
Yeah,
Lucy.
Is it Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy's
it might be
her
Lucy.
name. Silver hair, right?
Yeah. The girl that he met at first.
Yeah, that was definitely Lucy.
Yeah, her. That was my favorite, my most favorite character altogether. So favorite male character would have to be David. So that's funny.
There wasn't actually a lot of favorite. There isn't actually a lot of male characters that shined in that show, other than David and the guy who was running Arsaka. I can't remember his name, but the main antagonist with all the eyes on one side. Yes. Okay. Now I can understand Lucy, the hacker girl. She's definitely been the favorite character for when it comes to female, though. My favorite character out of female wasn't even Lucy; it was Rebecca. I liked her. She was cute, small, but she had that rambunctious streak, especially when she got when David took over and she had those big old
Yeah.
ape arms.
Yeah.
That was she was hilarious. She's a waifu, definitely on my waifu list, man.
You got a waifu list?
Oh yeah, you know I got waifu. I got Sue on that list.
I bet you do.
And I know you got a waifu list too. I know you got Jinx on your waifu list, and I know definitely on the top of your list is definitely Toka from Tokyo Ghoul.
Why do you think it's got to be Toka?
Because I know you'll definitely like that wing slicing you up from her. You'll let her put plenty of holes in you.
Hey, I love my pain. I can't help it.
I mean, I know you don't have a big waifu list like I do because, I mean, I know you haven't watched as many animes as I have.
I mean, I've watched a lot. It's just, it's.
And of course, Jinx, the schizophrenia girl. That's definitely that's like your
Jinx is.
That's like your gender opposite.
Jinx
right
is it? Okay.
She's like your gender opposite.
Although I'd have to do something about the pink hair. Okay.
Well, technically it's blue. That's Vi with pink.
I know. I'd have to do something about her sister's.
Well, Vi's definitely on my list, even though now with the show they basically made her a lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of seeing, of course, because ever since Lee came out and Vi was created, she's always been partnered with Caitlyn, but they were like partnered as friends. But now we're getting the more community now in this era, so of course they were going to put them together.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like that was going to happen the moment they were in the brothel when she said, "Will it be man or woman?"
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't strike me as any of them actually ever getting together with any of the guys from League, anyway. Not any of the ones from Noxus, not any of the ones from Piltover. I mean, Jace is just, in my opinion, an ass, in my opinion. And Victor's supposed to be like more machine. They'll probably make him like that when they
Probably.
in the sequel. I'm really wondering when they're going to make that sequel. But that probably won't be till next year. But I mean, so you guys heard it here. Favorite female character for Joey is Lucy, though I'm pretty sure she's the most popular out of any of the female characters.
Most likely.
Because everyone loves her. I've seen tons of cosplays of her. I've seen one done by Yaya. I've seen one done by Mangaloo. I've seen a lot of cosplays done with her. But Rebecca is my favorite. I think she was funny. I really liked her, and I really liked being drawn to those characters, kind of ones that kind of have that cute side, but are still kind of rambunctious at the same time. Because you can agree with me, Joey. She was wild.
Mm-hmm. She really was.
She had that cute exterior and everything, but don't let that fool you. It sucked, though, that she died at the very end.
They just wanted to go like, okay, we'll kill you off and possibly bring you back later.
Honestly, I didn't expect any of them to live. No offense to some of the the other characters, but I mean, I don't know how many of I can't remember how many of the main characters lived, but the only one I even can recall that did live was Lucy. But honestly, I didn't think she was going to live either.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting kind of like they were all going to die, and then like everyone's going to see what they did, and that's like going to spark like a big Edgerunner thing.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's kind of like a prequel, that's how we get into the game now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but that's just my personal opinion, of course. There are probably a lot of different opinions about what people wanted. I mean, though, I think when it comes to any show or book or manga, basically, starting it off is the easy part. It's how you end it. That's what's the hard part. Which really makes me wonder how Oda's going to end One Piece. Because if he has this big, long story, and then, like, he gives us this crappy ending when he finally ends it, you know that's going to piss off probably a lot of people.
Probably half the world.
Yeah. Well, at least all of Japan, who is a One Piece fan, will be pissed because...
Exactly. So you got all of Japan, okay, and then you got the people in the U.S. that likes it. and then across the whole globe that likes it, it's going to be at least half the world.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't have that long of a story and then just give us a really bad ending.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the longer the story drags on, that just kind of makes it harder to end it, in my opinion. I mean, everyone used to say Stephen King used to have bad endings. I was like, Stephen King's endings were not bad at
No,
all.
they weren't. Not at all.
He's like, yes, he's had a couple books that were kind of like, meh.
But I'm sorry, but his endings in his shows and movies and all or whatever,
his books too,
books, movies, whatever, it's great.
His endings are great because first of all, the way he ends the thing, it's not a lot of people give you that happy, ending kind of thing. Stephen King don't give you that all the time.
No, not at all. No, you get a sad and crying. I'm gonna die.
You sometimes get a sad ending. You sometimes get endings where people get away, but they get like traumatized for life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you remember?
Oh my God, I got away. Oh my God, I'm haunted. He's haunting me.
I mean, do you remember Misery when he got away from that woman? He started seeing her.
Exactly, that's what I was going for. Yeah. He's haunting me.
I mean, The Shining is technically the movie's a bit off from his book. But
yeah.
I mean, the way they kind of described it, I wish they kind of maybe made it like that, even though he hated the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're trapped with somebody that's going that crazy
mm-hmm.
in that big of a basically a new environment, because the hotel basically became a character in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck in the middle of nowhere, just you, your husband, your son, and basically, if you're claustrophobic and everything, because even that big of a place can become claustrophobic if you're by yourself, and then you start going crazy like that. I mean, and you're trapped with this person. So I mean, that just kind of makes you think, where are you gonna go now? You can either die in here,
or you can die out there,
or you can freeze to death outside.
Right. Which one you want?
So I mean, that just kind of gives you the vibe. You got no choice. You gotta either take control of the situation or die. So I mean, but we're getting off topic here. We're just talking, giving you guys vibes and everything about talking. We're going from here to there, but that's just how we do things. I mean, sometimes we're here, sometimes we're there.
Sometimes I'm not even here. Mm-hmm. Got him.
Yeah, you do get them, Joey. You get them well. But overall, I'm going to give Cyberpunk an AniYay.
I'm going to have to give it an AniYay as well.
Definitely wish they hope maybe they do like some spin-off, because the David Martinez thing is done and over with. They ain't going to do anymore. But I mean, the way it ends, we probably won't get anything else, because the whole point was for all of them to escape Night City, which they did. And she did escape Night City. I mean, is there really any other story they can really give? Probably Cyberpunk, unless other than it's a spin-off.
No, not really.
I guess not then.
I mean, not from what you've told me. So.
Well, not from what I can think of, at least. But like I said, there were 3 routes in the game. Maybe they'll take a different route with a different person. Because like I said, you play Destiny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you had 3 different paths, right? You got the Warlock, you got the Titan, and you got the Hunter. So, I mean, you got those 3 paths, and you could probably do the same thing here, because you had Street Kid, and then you got probably, I forgot the other ones, but basically one's like you becoming an elite, and the other one's just like a normal kind of thing. But, I mean, it's 3 paths, so maybe they can put another path in there, but probably be a different person, of course.
Yeah, probably. I would probably have to go with Street Kid too.
Yeah.
I'm a Street Kid myself,
Well, that's probably the route that we saw in this Edgerunner one with David. Of course, guy who's growing up on the streets.
Yeah.
Nothing. Becomes like this elite Edgerunner. I mean, that's pretty badass, and that's what gives good character development, and they pace it right.
Yeah.
The animation was kind of like my one flaw. Too cartoony in a way. I guess you can say.
It was.
I mean,
It was.
but I mean, it is what it is, and it was still a good show overall.
Mm-hmm.
So AniYay for us on Cyberpunk.
AniYay, AniYay, we
Our next
made it
episode-
on AniYay, yeah.
Our next episode probably will be the next time you guys hear from us, not our next episode, will probably be when we do our Studio Ghibli episode on when Marnie was there. We still got to do that.
Yeah, that should be the next one.
We are really sorry, guys. We know we were dropping a lot more episodes earlier, but now, we're kind of getting stacked up. But I mean, it's the end of the year. It's just that time of year when things are going to get super busy. But we're really trying to get as many episodes out as we can for you guys. And plus, other things come up, and we try to give you all specials. I'm definitely trying to find out when the Crunchyroll Awards are, so we can do that again for our
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that one again too.
a special. But I mean, maybe we'll do a simple 12 episode one next time. Try to get like one of that off our list. We got a huge list, guys, and every one of you guys, we appreciate you guys sending us out, the animes you want us to review, and we're really trying to get to all of them. We promise you that. We're not leaving you guys hanging in the.
We haven't forgotten about any of you, and we won't.
We won't forget about any of you, but
We're working on it. It's just a lot.
we're just really trying here, guys.
We got a lot going on.
We got this, and plus we have the Studio Ghibli show that kind of like puts a kind of like a hole in it because we're doing this show and we're doing Studio Ghibli separately, so that's like one episode extra, kind of like away from the main show. But we're not forgetting about any of you. We're getting to you guys. Plus, we got to get part 2s done of like things like Orient and Q.
Oh my God!
And of course, there are ones who requested Overlord and Data Live, and that's both of those are 4 parts.
Overlord is good though.
Yeah, Overlord's really good. It's gonna be worth it to do the 4 parts. I don't know how you're gonna feel about Data Live though. That's kind of like one of those harem ones, guys surrounded by a bunch of chicks. But I think if you get the plot a chance, you will like it. Kind of like techie kind of thing.
I'll give anything a chance. But if it's a lovey-dovey storyline, I'm just gonna be like, the storyline I hated, but this part right here, I liked.
Well, ecchi animes, there wasn't the lovey-dovey that you're really seeing isn't the lovey-dovey like romance story. It's just a bunch of girls wanting to bang the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think you can consider that lovey-dovey, man, because that's stuff you probably would want to see.
It all depends.
Yeah, it all depends. But anyway, just for all you guys coming to see us, just keep up to date with our channel, and you'll see new episodes coming out. And please spread the word about us, because we definitely appreciate that as well.
We greatly appreciate y'all and love y'all. No problem there. For sure.
All right. Until next time, I'm your host, John.
And I'm Joey.
We'll see you
on the next one.